Hey Visha, how you doing? I literally right when I went live, I got your message. Right when I went live, I got your message. I'm gonna have to text you once I get off of this broadcast. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy blessed Friday. I'm gonna say it again. Happy blessed Friday. I'm gonna say it again. Happy blessed Friday. We are officially the last Friday, and in the last Friday of the month of August. Before we know it, literally next week will mark the 1st of September, my birthday month. I am doing well. Listen, it's one of those, I guess this week I've been a little bit tired, a little bit groggy. I've been a little bit groggy. I think some of it revolves around just the weather here, because y'all, it has not been a lick of sun. Hey, Miss Janet Baldwin, you got good news coming to you, Miss Baldwin. I don't know what the news is, but I just immediately heard that when I saw your name. You got good news coming to you. You got good news coming. I don't know why God want me to tell you that, but you have good news coming. Before the end of this month, you're going to get some type of good news that you've been waiting for. I don't know why He want me to tell you that again, but you have good news coming. But y'all, we are officially in the last, we're in the last Friday of the month of August. As I was saying, like, the weather here is, we have not had a lick of sunshine. It has been so dreary outside. It has been raining. Today was one of the first days that I actually got to walk outside. Listen, today was one of those days I actually got to walk outside because it was not raining. Every morning for probably like the past week, it has been raining, and I have literally not been able to get my morning. Well, I've been getting my morning walks inside, but I haven't been able to. It's just something about being able to walk outside, get some fresh air before everybody gets up, where the elementary kids be out. But it's just something about it. Hey, blessings to you, Miss Wet. Listen, our declaration is, don't let your faith fail you now. I'm trying to wake up, y'all. I've had a cup of coffee. It's one of those mornings where I'm like, God, I almost feel like I need another cup of coffee. But I'm trying to like hold out. It's literally been a cup a day. Listen, a cup of Joe a day. That's all I be needing. But today is one of those mornings where I'm like, okay, God, I'm moving a little bit slow. It's been a full week. It's been a quite busy week. But our declaration is, don't let your faith fail you now. Yeah. This morning has joy on it. And, you know, I really believe that in these last few days of August, like, God is just highlighting so many different breakthroughs and blessings for His children. I'm going to say it again. You know, in this last few days, it ain't even a week, it's literally a few days of August. He is just literally highlighting, you know, unexpected blessings and breakthroughs for many of His children. You know, and I just hear even now God saying, did you think that I forgot about you? I just hear Him now. Did you really think that I forgot about you? So this morning, as I was sitting out here, you know, spending some time with God, honestly trying to wake up to, y'all, don't judge me. It's 8 something here. It's 8:48. But as I was sitting out here trying to wake up and just listening for the voice of God to tell me what it is that He needed me to talk about today, I heard Him begin to say, tell my children not to let their faith fail them now. And for a lot of us, it revolves around, you know, the things that some of us have expected God to do, certain things like in the month of August, right? Some of us have expected it. Some of us have seen God do some things. Some of us have seen some movement. We've seen God do some things this month, but there are still some people that are literally just waiting. You're waiting for God to do it. And the Lord told me this morning, He said, there were some of my children that have started to lose hope. They've started to feel as though, God, we've reached the tail end of another month and you still haven't done it. There are some of y'all that you've literally been growing increasingly strategically weary, right, of whatever it is that you've been waiting on God to do. For some of y'all, these have been things that you've been waiting for God to do, not just all month, but it's literally been like all year. For some of y'all, you feel like you've been waiting over, past, just a year. You've been waiting for a while, and God is just simply saying, come on, be at peace and don't let your faith fail you now. Come on, listen, he's been strategically working you better say that, Miss Willette. And that's one of the things that God has been telling me. Like, a lot of times when we're waiting, we're not waiting, because God isn't moving. But a lot of times when we're waiting, God is, just like Miss Willette said, he's strategically working things out behind the scenes, things that have nothing to do with you, right? Because one thing about God is when it is time for your blessing, like it's so smooth sailing. Literally, the only thing that you have to do is literally just show up, right? And so God is saying, tell them the month is not over, even though the end of the month, it draws nigh. Can somebody just say, it ain't over yet? I'm going to say that again. God is saying it is not over yet. I'm going to say it again. It's not over yet. I'm going to wait until I get somebody to just type that in on the screen. It's not over yet. The month is not over. There's just been such a peace that has been over this entire month, right? There's just been even just a gladness and a joy, even that's over today in itself. For many people, what God is saying is that he's going to do it. But come on, before the end of this month comes, he is going to do it. He's going to move in such a way that come on, that he didn't pass you by this month. I'm going to say it again. The month is not over. It ain't over. I'm going to say it again. It's not over yet. And so what God is saying is, don't let your faith fail you these last few days of August. Do not let your faith fail you. Keep believing, keep trusting, keep expecting, keep hoping, keep waiting on God to do what he said that he was going to do. Because for many people, it's not going to be long before God shows you all the things that he was doing while you were waiting. Come on, it's not going to be too long for many people to see, right? That God was saving the best for last. I'm going to say it again. He was saving the best for last. I'm going to say it again. Some of y'all are about to see that, you made it to the tail end of the month, and God was just saving the best for last. And God operates that way sometimes, where he literally saves the best blessings. Come on, he'll wait until the very last minute before he does that thing for you. And so I just came here today to tell you what God told me to tell you. Don't let your faith fail you. Don't let your faith fail you. What I've seen so many times is that a lot of times it's right at that moment where you are just, your faith is on its last leg. It's right at those moments where you like, you know what, God, I'm done. A lot of times it's right at those moments where God comes through, where the miracle comes, the breakthrough comes, the blessing comes, the door opens. Come on, you get the favor that you need. You get the yes that you need. You get the answer that you need, right? Don't let your faith fail you. I believe that today for many people, it's going to be one of those days where the Lord just continues to move. It's going to be one of those days where some of y'all going to be like, listen, I saw some progress, Apostle T. It wasn't just any kind of progress. Like, it was major progress. Like, it was major progress in the right direction. And then by the 31st, many of y'all are going to testify and say, you know what, Apostle? God did it. He did it. He did it. I was losing hope. I was growing weary. I was starting to feel like this month was going to be like every other month, of this year. I was feeling like, it was going to be yet another month, but no breakthrough. Yet another month, but I'm still waiting. Yet another month, right? And I'm still, still believing God for this thing. Many of y'all are going to testify and say, God, you said it through Apostle T. You said that you were going to do it this month, and you legitimately did it. And so that is the word. I don't add nothing to the words that God gives me. I don't care how short they are, how long they are. I'm just here to say exactly what the Lord says. Do not let your faith fail you this month. He's moving. He's moving. He's been putting that in my spirit all week. He's moving, you know, and even now he's reminding me of that word. If y'all haven't caught that word, he's reminding me of that word when it was flooding earlier this week. And just him saying, listen, tell my children the blessings are about to come in like a flood. And he said it ain't just that Amos 9 and 13 type of blessing, but it's like a mixture of Amos 9 and 13 and that Deuteronomy chapter 28 type of blessing. I'm going to say it again. It's not on our timeline. Listen, down to the 12th hour. And you know, honestly, that's when God does the most work. Like that's when we see that he's doing the most work. Right when we down, come on, to that last split second. Listen, you're in the fourth quarter and you got a couple of, y'all ever seen like an exciting game like that where, you know, the game is so close? Can I just flow? Where the game is so close, it's the fourth quarter. You know, you got one team that's literally down by like 2, down by like 7 if it's football, which means that they need one last touchdown, right? You know, to defeat the opponent, or a basketball game where they literally just need 2 points just to win the game, right? And so what a lot of times they'll do is they'll call a timeout, right? They'll call a timeout and the coach will kind of give them whatever type of play that's going to get them whatever points that they need. You ever seen like the clock counting down 3, 2, 1, and as the clock is counting down, the person shoots the ball, right? And the timer goes out, and then boom, before you know it, come on, the shot goes in and the crowd just erupts, right? For many of us, we're in that moment where it's literally like God is down to, listen, I'm down to the last few seconds. If there was ever a time for you to shoot your shot, God, that time is now. God works. Listen, we'll call moments like that working under stress, but God works best in those. Come on, he works best in those moments. How many people know that? I've seen it time and time again. He works best when he knows, come on, that shot clock is ticking. And if there was ever a time for him to move, he got to do it now. God knows that many people have been in that season where you like, God, I don't know how much longer I can keep holding on, how much longer I can keep waiting, how much longer I can keep believing you and trusting you for this thing. He knows when you get to that moment where the clock is ticking, and he knows, listen, if there was ever a time, right, where your faith was on the line, this is it. In those moments, the Lord says, boom, I'm going to do it. I can remember like it was yesterday, a little bit over a year ago when I got that vehicle. Come on, jaw-dropping blessing. Come on, Miss Willa. I feel the Holy Spirit this morning. And God, listen, for me to be saying I'm waking up, this message has woke me up. But I can remember it like it was yesterday. I gotta just say this. When I got that car, I don't know if y'all remember it, but it was in June, right? I believe I got that vehicle June 26th of 2021, right? And the 25th, it was on the 25th, Bella had a health scare. And I can remember rushing her to the vet, and I got to the vet like at 5 something. Like I was out the house like before the vet opened at 7. We were waiting in the parking lot for at least about an hour, right? And I can remember it like it was yesterday, driving her there and, you know, giving her to the vet technician and him saying, just come back, right? I don't know what that is, but I can remember that. And I can remember on the way home from the vet, you know, just emotional. I knew at the time that I needed a car. You know, I knew it was real sketchy for me to drive, but I drove there early that morning because I knew that, okay, my car tends to leak the most engine coolant when it's super hot outside. So I left super early in the morning, right? And so I can remember on my way home from the vet, I knew that I didn't have much, you know, engine coolant. Like I would stop it. At this point, I was getting engine coolant like every day, right? I was running through like a big old tug of engine coolant like every single day. And on the way home, it just so happened that my car, you know, the engine coolant all leaked out, and my car, it quit on me on the side of the highway. So at the moment, I had just a little bit of engine coolant left. I put it in. And I remember like, you know, the car stopping again. And so I remember that day, I was just so emotional, so wound up. I was at like my end. It was like one of those moments where it's like, God, if you got to move, now is the time to do it. Right? I'm going to say it again. Like I know it was one of those moments where it's like, God, if you're going to do this, you got to do it right now. Because I literally can't depend on nobody to take me, you know, to get my dog from the vet. If anything else happened, I knew I could not depend on anybody else because people have lives and nobody has ever been dependable. Like for me, I've been dependable for other people, But I have not had the same luxury of like having other people do that for me. I can remember this like it was just a day. So I finally drove slow enough, and my friend got some engine coolant, and I had to park it like Raising Cane's. It was literally maybe about 5 miles from my home on the same street. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and she gives me, you know, the engine coolant, and I make it home, right? So that day was really stressful for me. You know, my dog was in rough shape, and I was just like, God, what am I gonna do? And so the Lord told me, he said, I want you to look online at vehicles. It's almost making me teary to think about it. So I want you to look online at vehicles. And so I went on the car site that I had been on. I knew I had to. And if I can be honest, my dog, he used my dog. That was the only reason why I went for it again, because I had pursued it so many times and just come up short that I had told God, I'm not pursuing this thing again. My alarm. But the thing that he used was my dog. That was the only reason why I pursued it. And so I go on the car website. I'm expecting not to see anything. And lo and behold, I see the vehicle that I had test drove 2 months prior. I tried to get it 2 months prior, but the deal just did not work. I ended up having to snap on the car salesman. I read him a piece of my mind, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie, because he was just so dishonest. And I didn't do anything that day. Like during the day, I was just so stressed out about Bella. I didn't do anything. But there was a broadcast that I did that evening. And from that broadcast, I knew that God was saying, if there's ever a time for me to move in your life, if there's ever a time for you, for you to pursue it, you got to do it now. And so after that broadcast, the Lord said, I want you to print all your financial, you already know what they're gonna need, but I need you to just print it all off, and I need you to go up there. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was so scared on the way there because I felt like, God, my car finna break down again. You know, I stopped literally around the corner to check the engine coolant. And I'm going to tell y'all something. This was the only time that my car was not leaking engine coolant. I didn't have to stop and put none in because I knew they were going to inspect that vehicle. So I went. It's about 30 minutes before closing. And I got a different salesperson. And I said, I want that car. It was in the price range. That was the reason why I couldn't get it before. It wasn't in my price range. But it was in the price range that God said, which meant that it fit the vision. And so God said, apply. I was skeptical on applying, y'all. But I applied. On the way home, y'all check this out. On the way home, the car salesman calls me. And he's like, we got a deal. Can you come back tomorrow when we open? And I'm going to be real with y'all. I was not excited. You ever like had so many failures in the area that even when you hear that there's movement, you just like, I'm still not excited because it was like this the last time, God. You know, the last car salesman said we had a deal and we did not have a deal. So I wasn't like really enthused by it. I wasn't fazed by it. I felt numb because it was literally like my faith was on the line. Because I knew like at that moment, I need this so I can take care of my dog. I need this. I don't just want it. I need it. So I trusted the sales guy. I went there that next morning and some said, ask him, what is the deal? Because I told him I can put $500 down and that's it. That's all I could put down between 0 to 500. And so when I asked him what was the deal, at this time we were waiting for the bank to open so that I can sign the last little bit of paperwork. He said it was exactly what you said. $500 down, you trade in your Audi. I was shocked. Within an hour of the bank opening, I drove off the lot with that car. Immediately as I'm driving off of the car, getting the keys, the vet calls me and says, you can come get your dog. It was in that moment, honestly, you know, and still then I was still so stressed with my dog that it didn't even set in. I knew that I had got a new car, but it hadn't yet fully set all the way in that it finally happened. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because some of y'all are about to have that same exact testimony. Like, God, you finally did it. I pursued this so many times and fell short so many times. I got discouraged in this area so many times. I got frustrated in this area so many times. I almost quit on this area so many times. But some of y'all, before this month ends, you're about to have that testimony that says, God, you finally did it. Like, you finally did it. And for some of y'all, the blessing is about to be so big and it's about to exceed your expectations to such a degree where it ain't even gonna hit you until months after you've already been in the blessing. It's one day you're gonna look up and you're gonna be like, wow, I legitimately got it. I got the apartment. I got the job. God, like for real. For some of y'all, it's not gonna hit you until it didn't hit me until like 2 months later. One day I walk outside and I realized, like, Lord, this car was a replica of my dream car, right? I used to want a Porsche Panorama or an Audi A7. I like the style of it, that crossover style. And one day as I'm at the reservoir, first I came out, and I'm like, wow, I got a new car. It was 2 moments, right? I'm like, not only did I get a new car, I've always wanted a personalized tag. I got both. And then it happened again. I'm at the reservoir and God says, do you not see? Once you had that Audi, you said you never wanted a luxury vehicle again. But don't you see how I gave you exactly what you want? I gave you a heart's desire, right? But I say that to say it's about to happen for you. And when it happens, it's going to be so unreal because your wait has been so long. You've been having to endure so much. But many people before the end of this month, you're going to say, God finally did it for me. So I say it all to say, don't let your faith fail you now. God knows exactly where you are. He knows that your faith is on the line. So keep pushing. And that is it. It happened even too with rental assistance. God knew my faith was on the line, and he knew that if there was ever a time for him to do it, right, and save my faith, that it was then. And he did it. And so I just decree and declare that in the next 24 to 48 hours, some of y'all are legitimately going to be like, wow, God, I'm actually in. I got it, God. I got it. And that's the word, man. That is the word. To those of y'all that like need to sow, because some of y'all legitimately need to sow seed into this word. I encourage you to sow. You can label it, your miracle seed. You can label it whatever you want to label it. I don't care if you putting $1 in the ground, if you putting 10 cents in the ground, if you putting 100 in the ground, if you putting 1,000 in the ground. Sow if you feel led. The links are there. If you need to book a session, the links are there. If you need prayer for anything or have a testimony to share, that email address is there. But I love y'all, man. I am rooting for y'all. And so until next time, y'all, peace. Join me on TikTok at 9:30, y'all. All right, y'all. Love y'all.